cheap prices across the market, which has kind of gained all this popularity. We are really mindful of that. See, today in the esports streaming segment, we are niche interest-based content consuming platform. And in that, there are streamers of all languages automatically catering to their fan bases and their market. So that ways we have designed it in that mindful effort only. So even when we're doing tournaments, just to add on to that, when we do major league tournaments, India Cup, and in different games, we even have tournament operators inside our system who are masters in each of these regions. So south, west, east, north, and cities inside that or towns inside that. And we're calling for tournament participation or open qualifiers across all these markets. So we are seeing when we launched out we recently did something called as Undergods, which was technically an open qualifier Call of Duty championship. We had 3,000 teams register for it in a day from all parts of the country. So that's how we have been focusing on the tier one, tier two aspect.
Understood. Um, Sid, would you want to take a dig at it? Is that something that's
I'm not sure if I was audible.
You're slightly breaking, Deepak, but
I'm
we
sorry,
heard.
I'm not sure if I was audible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're slightly
been audible,
breaking.
but yeah, there's something in between.
But we heard it all. Honestly, it was just breaking,
Yeah,
but we heard it
that's
all.
right.
That's
I'll try and join in again.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So Shivangi, I think from the angle of having vernacular as the go ahead for cricket.com, that has always been in the roadmap for us. As I said, the TG in India being so broad for cricket, it's only going to help us. It's not a no-brainer for us that the moment we start implementing a vernacular consumption, it's going to help. But whenever we have that discussion with the product team, they have nightmares coming up because it's not one application only, right? So
Yeah.
it's the entire content platform. So the kind of parameters or the development cycle also is quite tedious. It's not going to be that easy. It's difficult. Share chat took a lot of time, and for us also, I think majorly we want to be able to validate ourselves as the second screen player in the market, and then try and give them values as and when we advance. Having said that, for fan fight, vernacular communication has helped brilliantly. More than 50% of the user base is from tier 2 and tier 3. Although the app does not have vernacular communication going out, but Telegram or campaigns which are vernacular specific and which can be targeted has always helped. They're the top performing communication for us at this period of time. And as I said, it's just something that India can look. I mean, in India, it's something that if you are able to leverage on vernacular communication or vernacular distribution for your particular product, I think it works. It just works. So that's on the roadmap. Yeah.
But given the major focus of your team on analysis, right? So I'm just curious to know what your IPL routine looks like. Like, what are the key KPIs you analyze on a daily, hourly basis, and what are the changes that you're able to adopt or revise on the go as well?
Yeah. So two different schools of thoughts here. I mean, two different procedures altogether. One for fan fight, which is input output kind of a model. The structure, the framework is ready. We need to make sure that it's actually getting optimized on a daily scale, and IPL and World Cup are the only way we get that kind of opportunity to do it for fan fight. Cricket.com on the other hand, I think for us a daily a normal day would try and analyze the users that are coming in, right? Because we are able to acquire users. That's never been a challenge for us at all. Users do come in. We have a good day 3, day 7, day 30 retention as well. But engagement is what we need for any of the business models that we want to get into, and that is where we are trying to figure out what is working. We've tried a couple of things. We've come up with some gamifications for IPL specifically. We've come up with new sections wherein users are able to look forward to what is going to happen in a match and how is a player going to perform against another player. So yeah, I think a lot of my time now is understanding how users are behaving across the funnel, and am I able to ensure the engagement rates that we think is going to be fruitful for us to scale, and accordingly try and make decisions further in terms of which business model would suit the best for the user base that we have acquired.
Right, which means I think the major problem here is, either adopting a CRM strategy or making sure that, retention is now the key focus, because I think more often than not, acquisition is something that is solved for in the gaming industry,
Yes,
but retention
absolutely.
is something that should help, right? So that's something that you're facing challenges against.
And the domain that I am in, I mean, 95% of the market share stands with one person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So so trying to get users from there and trying to make them stick is itself a challenge in the
Yeah.
ecosystem. So we're trying to
They're
solve that
owning,
one step at a time.
yeah, owning the IPL title as well right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Understood. Kaushik, how does it look like for you? IPL engagement and analysis, daily routine like? Again, Kaushik, sorry, you're on mute again.
Yeah, yeah. So if I were to talk about IPL, we also have fantasy on our app. So IPL is again once in a year opportunity, and everyone wants to bank upon that. So day-to-day metrics and KPIs, obviously these are pretty much would be same across. I think Siddharth would also be able to resonate with that. We keep looking at active players. We keep looking at number of contests they participate. We try to figure out. We try to maximize the ticket size for them. We try to do a lot of. We keep on checking a new user adoption versus retention, as in people who participated in yesterday's match, they must participate today on our app, not just on any different fantasy app. So these are the things which we keep a daily check upon using obviously our CRM tools and all. But if I were to talk about the biggest challenge, I think as Siddharth rightly mentioned that's something which is with the retention. As in, users would come on your platform, they will try to utilize the early benefits that you will provide to experience the product, but then again make sure that they stick on your product is something very difficult. So I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, that the major chunk of market share is with the one player. So what we try to do for ourselves in this IPL is trying to replicate the journey of a loyal customer to upcoming new fantasy user, which is again very standard thing to do. But then again, it's a matter of how deep you go into analyzing what it takes to become a loyal customer on your platform, and then you try to replicate that using CRM, providing that required communication at a particular time point in time frame of the user journey, so that he becomes your loyal customer. So that's something which you are trying to do. And yeah, so far so good. IPL has been doing well for us. We are not majorly reliant on fantasy in terms of our business, but it's again a bonus for us.
Yeah. I mean, one way to look at it is, doing corrections in retrospect, like you understand the loyal customer's journey. But are there any ideas on key strategies to run with going by a CRM-led strategy, as you mentioned about the product-led strategy, right? So would there be something that is, must do under a CRM-led strategy for retention of these users that you follow?
So we do a lot of educating the experience in terms of fantasy, or let's say any new product feature using our CRM, because we want you to know what is it all about. Now, people who are trying out fantasy for the first time, or let's say people who are constantly losing in multiple contests, you don't want them to stop putting money onto your platform. You want them to stay on platform and try it out. And specifically, you want these players to put on money, right? Because they might try out a lot of things. So hence we try to use our CRM communications in terms of in-app specifically to provide that educating experience on our app itself. We have kind of recently come up with Winzo TV as well, where on our app itself we provide a lot of video content to the users. So we are providing a lot of educating experience in terms of, let's say, if we want to drive adoption towards fantasy. Let's say there is a hyper casual player who has never tried out fantasy in his life. He's sitting in tier 2, tier 3. He just watches a couple of IPL matches, but he's not confident about IPL. So what do we do? We try to provide that Winzo TV experience. We try to educate that person about fantasy, or let's say card games, or any other avenue which is a monetizing thing for us. We try to provide the educating experience using the CRM and personalization, and try to drive that kind of user engagement from the customer. So that's something which we are trying.